The idea of this deck is to get Delirium as fast as possible. Now the reason why we want to do that is cards like Deathcap Cultivator will gain abilities. So Deathcap Cultivator is a 2 mana 2/1 creature that will tap for a black or a green, and when we have Delirium, Deathcap Cultivator will have Death Touch, and as long as we have 4 or more cards among card types in our graveyard. Now the way we're going to get to Delirium quicker is through cards like Vessel of Nascency, which is a 1 mana enchantment. For 2 mana we can sacrifice the enchantment to reveal the top 4 cards of our library, and then we may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, land or planeswalker card from among them into our hand, and then put the rest into our graveyard. So this card is always going to put 4 cards into our graveyard because the enchantment will go there as well, plus the 3 cards that we did not select from the option are available. So we can usually try to set up for Delirium with this card as well. So let's just go over the deck briefly. We are playing 3 Gnarlwood Dryad, which is a 1 mana 1/1 creature with Death Touch, and when it has Delirium it will get +2/+2. Pretty good creature for 1 mana. The fact that it could be a 3/3 with Death Touch is cool, and the fact that it is a 1/1 with Death Touch some of the time is pretty decent. It helps with blocking and attacking strategies as well. We are also playing 3 Sinister Concoction, which is a 1 mana enchantment. We can pay a black, pay 1 life, put the top card of our library into our graveyard, discard a card, sacrifice Sinister Concoction to destroy target creature. We are jumping through a fair few hoops to get to destroy a creature, but considering that we are playing a Delirium deck, this card will put a total of 3 cards into our graveyard. This enchantment, a card that we can discard, and a random card from the top of our library, so hopefully it will allow us to set up a Delirium situation. We have already spoken about Vessel of Nascency, so we will skip over that card. And we've already spoken about Deathcap Cultivator in the examples that we've given, so we'll skip over that card. We are also playing 2 Sylvan Advocate, which is a 2 mana 2/3 creature. It has Vigilance, and as long as we control 6 or more lands, Sylvan Advocate and land creatures we control get +2/+2. Pretty good creature in the early and mid game. Moving swiftly on to 3 Obsessive Skinner, which is a 2 mana 1/1 creature. When Obsessive Skinner enters the battlefield, we can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then when we have Delirium at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Pretty good at helping us pump up a creature when it enters the battlefield, and always cool to allow us to change up blocking situations with pumping up a creature on our opponent's turn. We are also playing 3 Moldgraf Scavenger, which is a 2 mana 0/4 creature, and when it has Delirium it gets +3/+0. We are mainly playing this as a 2 mana 3/4 creature, which is pretty efficient at that mana, so it can get through for a chunk of damage, and it's pretty difficult to destroy. We can also use it as a chump blocker in the early game if needed to be. We are also playing 2 Gather the Pack, which is a 2 mana sorcery. We reveal the top 5 cards of our library, and then we may put a creature card from among them into our hand and put the rest into our graveyard. Now when we have Sparrow Mastery, that means that if there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in our graveyard, we get to put up to 2 creature cards into our hand instead of the 1. This is pretty good at being able to dig us extra creatures out of our deck, and also help us set up for Delirium. If we happen to miss a bunch of creatures, then we can try to set up a situation where Delirium is more beneficial for us. We are moving swiftly on to 3 Kindly Stranger, which is a 3 mana 2/3 creature, and when it has Delirium we can pay 3 mana to transform it, and then when we transform it into Demon Possessed Witch, which is a 4/3 creature, and when it transforms into this side, it will destroy target creature. Nice little bit of sweet removal, nice a nice aggressive threat. A 4/3 creature is pretty cool for 3 mana. We are also playing one Anissa Vastwood Seer, which is a 3 mana 2/2 legendary creature. When it enters the battlefield, we can search our library for a forest card, a basic forest card, my apologies, reveal it and put it into our hand, and then shuffle our library. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, if it is our 7th or more land, then we get to exile this version of Nissa and then transform it and return it as Nissa Sage Animist, which is a planeswalker with 3 loyalty. We can gain a loyalty to reveal the top card of our library. If it's a land, we put it onto the battlefield, otherwise we put it into our hand. And then for -2, we can create a 4/4 legendary green elemental creature token named Ishkahah the Working World. And then for 7 loyalty, we can untap up to 6 target lands, and they all become 6/6 elemental creatures. Now the 3 modes on Nissa are all pretty good. The +1 helps us get in ahead. The -2 is good to give us a jump blocker when we need it, and the -7 just wins games on the spot. We are also playing 3 Mournwillow, which is a 3 mana 3/2 creature with haste, and when it has Delirium, creatures with power 2 or less can't block this turn. Pretty good against the aggressive decks of the format. It helps us get in for a bit of damage, as well as this being a 3/2 threat, and it is also in our colors, which is absolutely cool. We are also playing one Liliana the Last Hope, which is a 3 mana planeswalker with 3 loyalty. We can gain a loyalty to have up to 1 target creature get -2/-1 until our next turn. Then we can -2 to put the top 2 cards of our library into our graveyard, and then we can return a creature card from the graveyard to our hand. And then for -7, we get an emblem with, at the beginning of our end step, we get to create X 2/2 black zombie creatures tokens, where X is the number plus X is 2 plus the number of zombies we control. All 3 modes on Liliana are pretty good. The +1 keeps most aggro decks in check. The -2 is pretty efficient at getting some creatures back from our graveyard that we might need back. And the -7 will always win us games, which is absolutely insane. We are also playing one Anissa Voice of Zendikar, which is a 3 mana planeswalker with 3 loyalty. We can gain loyalty to create a 0/1 green plant creature token. For -2, we can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. And then for -7, we can gain life, X life, and draw X cards, where X is the number of lands we control. So the +1 is pretty good to be able to create a blocker if we need one. The -2 helps us pumps up our creatures that are on the battlefield, and the -7 gives us a bit of card advantage when we need to. Also can help us out of a tight pinch if we need to get some extra life. We are also playing one Ishkahah Grafwidow, which is a 5 mana 3/5 legendary creature. It has reach, and when we do have Delirium, we get to put 3 1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach onto the battlefield. Now we can pay 6 mana and a black to have target opponent lose 1 life for each spider we control. This creature is really good at its casting cost. For 5 mana, when we have Delirium, we get in total 4 creatures on the battlefield, and then we can land up hurting our opponent for 4 mana without even attacking with this card. Moving swiftly onto the Gritog Monster, which is a 5 casting 6/6 legendary creature. It has Death Touch. At the beginning of our upkeep, we have to sacrifice this card unless we sacrifice a land. Now we may play an additional land on each of our turns, and whenever one or more lands are put into our graveyard from anywhere, we get to draw a card. The Gritog Monster is pretty good. It's a 5 mana 6/6. It does have Death Touch, which means it affects blocking and attacking states, and the fact that this card can also generate card advantage is pretty awesome. We are also playing one Ob Nixilis Reignited, which is a 5 casting planeswalker with 5 loyalty. We can gain a loyalty to draw a card and lose 1 life. We can lose 3 loyalty to destroy target creature, and then -8 loyalty to have an opponent get an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life. The 3 minutes on this planeswalker are pretty good. The +1 is really good to draw a card and lose a life. The -3 is always awesome to be able to kill a creature that does not have hexproof or is not indestructible, and the -8 is good for closing out the close games as well, which is pretty sweet. We are also playing one Woodland Bellower, which is a 6 mana 6/5 creature. When it enters the battlefield, we may search our library for a non-legendary green creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less, and we can put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle our library. I like Woodland Bellower because it is a good 6/5 for 6 mana, which is pretty good. The fact that it goes and grabs an extra creature out of our library, is pretty good. There's a whole bunch of stuff it can possibly hit. Probably looking for Mournwillow. There's positions where Sylvan Advocate could be good. Obsessive Skinner could be good. Those sort of things are going to be really, really good for Woodland Bellower to come fetch. Lands this time are going to be 6 swamps, 13 forests, 2 Hissing Quagmire, which is a land that enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for a black or a green, and then for 3 mana we can make Hissing Quagmire become a 2/2 black and green elemental creature token with Death Touch until end of turn. We are also playing 2 Woodland Cemetery, and finally rounding out the deck we are playing 2 Evolving Wilds. Okay guys, that is the deck tech for the green and black Delirium deck. If you're interested in checking out the deck, how the deck performs, that is in the card now on the screen, and I will see you guys in the next